Welcome back, everybody. Hope you are all doing well again today in Scroll of Taiwu. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to scroll out. We got, what, 90-something days left? 97, well, days, 97 months. So let's see. Was it you? No. It was here, right? First for the Pavilion of Wonders and Jiangling. Oh, yeah, it was there, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, about the bandits. Yeah, we're good to go. Bandits are close. The shopkeeper already gave the order. We sent out several hounds to track them down. Just follow the barking. We'll find out where they're hiding with the stolen goods. What's this going to be happening in this? Or? Ah, okay. Yes. Interesting. After chasing and cutting off their routes, Hawk finally tracked the bandits to their stash near the mountains. Leader rushes out, weapon in hand, shouts, "You guys, go. I'll hold them off." Didn't we just capture you, though? Maybe I did capture some. I mean, that was right. I'd never actually done that. I guess that's when we actually used the rope to capture. That looks painful. Both his legs are, yep. Inner breathing. All right. For a brief scuffle, the bandits are no match for Hawk. They drop the stolen goods and surrender. The crates they leave behind are stacked together, but the items inside look exquisitely crafted with ingenuity. The lid of one box bears the Pavilion of Wonders logo. This must be the missing shipment the merchants were talking about. Or their bandits seem to be nearby, so this should be the full shipment. Now that they're taken back, the time is to settle things properly. No. I'm not going to steal anything. Entrusted by others, loyal to their cause. Best to return these to the guild, just as promised. Hawk thinks it through and chooses to follow the Pavilion of Wonders request and returns the goods to them. Pavilion of Wonders favorability is increased. Good. Once the goods are dealt with, Hawk sees one of the bandits step forward and whisper, "The loot, it's all there. I didn't touch any of it. You're a real expert, true hero. Please, have mercy. Let us go. Just this once. You seem to know these trade routes all too well. You're not just any random group of bandits, are you?" The raider hears that and quickly pleads, "You got sharp eyes. I used to be a merchant myself, ran goods around Jingling. I only turned to this after my business went under. I had no other way to survive. I swear, never killed or burned anything down. You let me off this time, I'll leave Jingyan right away and never set foot here again. Jingling is a wealthy place. Everybody knows that. Even if a business fails, it shouldn't drive someone to banditry. Nice, deeply sighs. Wealthy or not, none of that silver ever made it to me. I used to deal in jade. Made a decent name for myself in Jingling. But I was arrogant and reckless. Thought I could handle anything. I made one wrong move. I offended the Pavilion of Wonders. No, they didn't even need to lift a finger. The rest of the merchants in the city, well, they all stopped dealing with me on their own. Eventually, I couldn't even keep my shop open. So, the Pavilion of Wonders really is that powerful? Yeah. Suddenly, a loud laugh echoes from the distance as a cloud of dust rolls in. The Pavilion of Wonders keeper rides up at full speed, clearly excited that Hawk has captured the raider. Cracks his whip in the air, scaring the raider stiff, then shouts, "Oh, this guy's been causing trouble for the Pavilion of Wonders for years. Now he dares to rob us. Unforgivable. Take them all back. I'll deal with each one personally." The servants dismount right away and tie the bandits up tight. Shopkeeper turns to you with a smile and gives a polite nod. "Thanks to your help, we finally caught this gang. Bronze arms, ready and waiting for you back at Jingling." Whoop. So that's this one. Probably the main one, right? At least that would be. Oh, hold up. Stop. Go on. All right, welcome home, successor of Taiwu. Back at the Pavilion of Wonders, Hawk sees two rows of servants lined up and greet loudly. The very end of the line, sitting with hands folded and a calm smile, is the Pavilion of Wonders keeper. Successor of Taiwu, I always trust you. Someone brings up the bronze arm. As the shopkeeper's command, two servants step forward, holding a brocade box. The shopkeeper lifts the bronze left arm with both hands and offers it. "Here's the artisan's arm. It's yours now. Also, I prepared 2 more gifts for you." 2 more? All right. "This gang has been a thorn in our side for a long time. You came all the way here to help us out. I didn't give you something in return. What kind of host would I be?" He raises his brows and grins. "First gift, a timely tip. While you were out, I had people dig around. Turns out before the Gongshu caravan came knocking, the Vault of Volumes keeper also paid a quiet visit to the swordsmith villa. Guess what? He got the bronze right leg. Once you're done here, you might want to head to Xingyang." Oh, thank you for the heads up. "The second matter. Just a small suggestion from us. Successor of Taiwu, you've taken on someone's request and carried it out with full integrity. That's beyond reproach. However, I believe returning Tong Shin to the Gongshu caravan once all his parts are found may be a bit one-sided. Why not let Tong Shin stay with us as a guest advisor? We treat him well. What do you think?" I'm going to decline. I mean, we were hired for our job. We're going to do the job. It's not my call to make where Tong Shin ends up. Tong Shin hears this and realizes it's not going to end up like the Jade Pixiu. Relieved, it says, "Tong Shin, not for sale." Now the shopkeeper doesn't look happy. "You don't get to decide that on your own. What, that old fox gets to make the call, but I don't? Think carefully. Once you step outside that door, there's no turning back." Well, Golden light spills from the Pavilion of Wonders, painting the eaves in a warm set glow. Hawk walks out, bronze arm in hand, feeling like the quest to gather Tong Shin's parts might not be as hard as expected. But just then, several doves take off in the sky. One of them heads north towards Xingyang. Are those homing pigeons from the 6 other guilds? For the way both the Pavilion of Wonders and Gongshu Caravan's keepers talk and act, Hawk assumes that's clear Tongshin's worth is a lot to these guilds. But all this secret back and forth and spying, that Hawk didn't see coming. Tongshin, though, doesn't seem phased, just looks up at the sky and mutters, Pavilion of Wonders, rare, fine, delicate, never seen before. Oh, Tongshin, is this your first time seeing the Pavilion of Wonders? He goes quiet for a while and then says, Tongshin used to treasure Big Cauldron, Big Bell. That sounds like a ceremonial staff. Tongshin doesn't know. Tongshin goes quiet again, whether it was Gongshu's caravan buying him or the swordsmith disciples selling him. No one ever asked where he came from. They just treated him like a regular mechanism and put a price on him. But Tongshin doesn't seem to mind. He quietly listens to all the noise outside, still looking as simple and steady as ever. It doesn't matter. That's one piece. Time to head to Xingyang and find the Vault of Volume. Okay. Got that. You're up here, right? Oh, that doesn't feel right. Because this is their, but that's not Xingyang. I'll go through these. I thought that was their, yeah. Really? All right. Choose state borders meet with where 3 rivers flow. At Jingmen, 9 rivers go. Wow. The river here runs beyond the world, and the mountains here fade into mist and swirl. Yang is a grand city. The waterways, it's in every direction. Hawk crosses a field, steps over a crumbling mud wall, and heads toward the city gates. Suddenly, Tongshin speaks. Gather oysters, stack frames, light a fire, gather the oyster ash, mix it, build the wall. Oyster ash walls. Oh, that's a method. Too bad there aren't any oysters around here. Too bad, too bad. Tongshin looks disappointed. He can only hope that once its limbs are complete, he can head to the coast and, collect more oysters. At Zhongyang's city gates, a couple of kids are running around playing when they see Hawk. They stop right away, bow, and say, Master has been waiting for you, successor of Taiwu. Oh, why is your master waiting for me? Kid scratches his head and doesn't answer and leads Hawk to a tourist boat by the lake. But as the door slides open, the smell of oil and wine fills the air. Turns out there's a whole feast laid out inside. 2 shopkeepers are already standing there waiting. Well, thank you for joining us. We Vault Volume are truly grateful. Yeah, same here, really grateful. Oxback Keeper, why are you here too? I'm just sharing a drink with a little fella here. Heard the successor of Taiwu was coming, so I made a few dishes myself. Come on and try some. The ox-back keeper pointed at the table, grins, and sits down with a simple smile, saying no more. The Vault of Volumes keeper stays quiet too, only sneaking a nervous glance at Hawk. Tables filled with pork, lamb, fish, shrimp, candied fruits, and all kinds of goodies, but neither of them touch their chopsticks. They just sit there stiffly. One's a pale and skinny scholar, the other dark, stocky cook. Both look awkward, like they want to speak, but can't keep holding back. Shopkeepers, I came here today to purchase something. We've got it. Zemo, Z-Win, go bring that thing over. Hearing Hawk get straight to the point, the scholar quickly responds. He sends 2 young servants to the back of the boat. They return with a bronze object and place it on the table. One of the kids tries to sneak a chicken leg from the feast, but the scholar slaps it away with a loud smack. This is the one, shopkeeper. May I ask how much it costs? Seeing the 2 of them squirm, Hawk thinks there probably going to be some haggling, but to his surprise, they're both very straightforward. Takes out his money pouch, ready to pay, but the scholar quickly waves his hand and says, no need. The book says a gentleman helps others succeed. A petty man steals what others love. This part belongs to Tong Shin. I bought it just to give it to Tong Shin. Never mentioned Tong Shin's name. That confirms it. The doves really are shared among the guilds. Hearing this, Hawk starts to feel uneasy. Never mind the homing pigeons or the gossip. When Gongshu Caravan bought Tong Shin's head, it cost real silver. The Pavilion of Wonders and these 2 definitely paid their parts too. Now these 2 are just giving one away. That's not how merchants usually act. I can't accept a gift like this. You 2 invited me here and hosted an entire feast. There's something you want to talk about. Feel free to say it. The scholar opens his mouth but can't seem to find the words. At the sight, the cook slaps his thigh and grabs a chicken leg. Kid, you're not going to talk about... if you're not going to talk about your business, then I'll talk about mine. Successor of Taiwu. I've got some workers who ran off with our goods. I want to bring them back so we can eat together again. Get back to living and working like before. Hey, I'm not too worried about them. A job's a job. More questions means more issues. All right, do you know where they are? Well, the cook shakes his head and sighs. They're somewhere around Xingyang. I'm scared they've gone off to the bandits, but now they're avoiding me. Don't even want to meet. Please, successor of Taiwu, help me talk to them. I'll stay behind and follow your lead. I bought a bronze leg from the swordsmith villa. If this works out, I'll give it to you. How's that sound? As for Tong Shin, we'll talk after. No rush. All right, please enjoy the meal. Once it's done, I'll be back to visit again. After leaving the boat, Hawk's mind spins with doubts. All these guilds are willing to give up their bronze pieces. To believe none of them has an angle? Not a chance for Hawk. But Hawk can't figure out what it is they really want. All right, forget it for now. Let's just focus on getting the parts. Just as Hawk makes up his mind, is about to leave, a quarrel breaks out inside the wing room. The scholar sighs loudly. Can you just let me finish the important stuff first, then talk about your nonsense later? That bronze man, in terms of seniority, could be regarded as our ancestor. How can you be so disrespectful? The cook is just as easygoing as ever. He frowns in confusion. What, you want to speak up? How's that my fault? My ladle at home's made of bronze. So what's the big deal about this one? Oh. The scholar panics and blurts out, you. How could you compare it to a ladle? Listen, back in the day before Al-Yezi mastered the craft of forging metal, he used bronze to create mechanisms. And the markings on Tong Shin's forehead, those patterns have been lost for generations. It calls itself an artisan. Oh, he could make the weapon stuff we've been getting. There's no doubt it's deeply tied to Al-Yezi. Could even be his direct disciple. After those words, the people in the room fell silent, realizing their voices may have been too loud and they might have just spilled a big secret. Tongshin is Al-Yezi's direct disciple, huh? Direct? What does that mean? Disciple. Well, what's that about? Tongshin doesn't care at all, but Hawk can't help but connect the dots. What the shopkeeper said is true, and Tongshin really is a direct successor of Master Owl, then it all makes sense why the guilds are acting so strangely, bending over backwards to please. Anyone who inherits Al-Yezi's unique arts could easily restore the glory of the swordsmith villa and become famous across the world. Now I get it. On the other hand, someone directly passed down Master Owl means a lot of swordsmith villa. Tongshin really carries that legacy. Maybe the Grand Sword Trial still has a chance. But if Hawk just sends him back without a plan, how will he handle all the guilds controlling the market? His thoughts start to spiral. Part hope, part worry. Forget it. Better finish this task first, then ask the shopkeeper. Got it. Seek out the Oxback Caravan merchant. Technically you're there and there. Technically you could be here. Yeah, about the bandits. A few days back, I did lose a shipment to those bandits. Took a heavy hit. They clearly know the merchants around Xinjiang or how they operate. Incredibly good at sleight of hand and covering their tracks. Honestly, I'm at my wit's end. Let's go. They're nearby. A lot of stray dogs around. They're running through the area. The bandits to stir up a ruckus. All right, so same thing. Let's find the puppies barking. Maybe I need to go here. Oh, I did do this, right? Yeah. Martial contest. Oh, I was looking all around there and you're super close. All right, we got him, chased him off. All right, so same text on that. Okay, so same average stats. Upper chest going. I like making these weak points. Sword. What are these fighting? Yeah. Comprehension. Powder. For a brief scuffle, they're no match for me. They dropped the stolen goods. Okay, so same thing there. Give them everything back. Right? Once the goods are dealt with, Hawk turns around. They kneel the ground, skinny and pale, nothing like fierce bandits or ruthless raiders. They're from the shopkeeper that you were originally Oxback merchants. Caught off guard by the question from Hawk, the bandits quickly nod and reply, "Yes, sir, you're right. Used to manage livestock in Xinjiang, raising and selling them to the north and south." "Well, then why'd you do something like this? Didn't they treat you poorly?" These words, the bandits lowered their head, guilt clouding their face, and they sigh and say, "Not quite. No, it's just these are troubled times. Livestock trade's a hard living now. We raised 20 fowls over 100 days, fed them 100 caddies of grass each day. But once we crossed into the Blackstone land, they were all devoured by monsters. The rest of the goods, our buyers sent word to cancel the order. Had no way to answer to our guild or to the shopkeeper, so we chose to flee." "I see. Running a guild isn't easy either." "Hey." Before the words are ever finished, a cloud of dust rises in the distance and someone shouts loudly while rushing over. It's the Oxback Keeper. He's come after hearing Hawk caught the bandits. "He finally found you all. I brought some food and medicine. You hungry? I'm heading back to Xinjiang with the successor of Taiwu. Why don't you come with us?" Shopkeeper's so kind and genuine. You rarely see that these days. Even after losing the goods, the shopkeeper doesn't scold them at all. Bandits' eyes fill with tears. They nod repeatedly and grab the food and scarf it down like they haven't eaten in days. Probably haven't. And the shopkeeper turns and says, "If it weren't for you, successor of Taiwu, I wouldn't have found them. Those tracking skills of yours, there's something else. Yes, that bookworm is still waiting for me. I'll head back to Xinjiang first. If you've got time, come join me." "No, I do. Fortunately, I don't have the energy." Whoop. I also don't have the weight limits. Put a speed. It's fine. No, that's fun. Disassemble. Now. It's all right. It's all right. Ooh, night with the wife. Ancient stone, gotcha. That's a thingy. All right. I know that's you. The miasma. That's not the serpent. Is it the ancient forest? No. Okay, what was it? Was it anything? Thick woods. Oh, while we're in here. Where do we? All right. Each of them holds. Oh, okay. This is different. When Hawk returns to Xinjiang, he spots 2 or 3 young servants waiting at the city gates. Each of them holds a chicken leg, lips glistening with oil, looking very satisfied. When they see Hawk, they all shout in unison, "Successor of Taiwu, master of the Oxback Keeper, have been waiting for you." Hawk pushes open the door and sees the banquet inside the boat. Already been cleared away. The scholar is seated, calmly brewing tea. The chef, who had been snoring with a book called A Reference to the Primary Learning as a Pillow, okay, is shaking away by one of the page boys. Still half asleep, he shuffles into his seat. Scholar pours 3 cups of tea with practiced ease and smiles politely. Please, have some tea. Sister of Taiwu. Careful, it's hot. As for the oxback caravan's matter, it's finally settled. I'll have a little tea. You really live up to the ow. The cook responds half drunk, but scalds his mouth on the tea. Pulls himself together, grinning sheepishly. Oh, good job getting it all done. All right. That thing I promised you two earlier. Cook jumps up, runs outside. Moments later, he comes back holding 2 long bronze legs. Wait, we get both? Each about a chi long. Tong Shen, here's the pair of bronze legs. All yours again. The kids weren't you two saying you want to talk about Tong Shen? The tea's still hot, so go ahead. All right, much thanks from Tong Shen to both of you. Nice. Hearing this, the scholar lowers his eyes to the steam rising off the tea, his brows pinched together. He doesn't speak, looking weighed down by worry. At last, he grits his teeth, takes out an old illustrated book, flicks to a page, and says, Tong Shen, do you recognize this sword? Hawk leans over to look. Drawn on the page is a metal sword, pitch black from hilt to tip. Its pommel is round, the guard worn down, and its whole form feels ancient, both in shape and material. Is he testing Tong Shen's sword knowledge? Luo Fu. Without a second's hesitation, Tong Shen blurts out a strange name. Shopkeeper flinches slightly, then flips to another page, showing a different ancient sword, and asks again. Tai Hang. Luo Fu, Tai Hang. I've never even heard of these swords. Tong Shen then begins naming several swords. The scholar quietly closes the compendium and bows. These swords are from Master Owl's era, ancient swords long forgotten. Their forging techniques completely lost. Successor of Taiwu, I'd like to ask Tong Shen to join the Vault of Volumes as a guest advisor. This may go against the teachings of the sages, so please help me decide. No. My decision is, it's not up to me where Tong Shen ends up. Tong Shen hears this and is now certain no one's going to stick him on a platter like some party trick. Feeling full of itself, it puffs up and declares, Tong Shen not for sale. Successor of Taiwu, no sale. All right, well, stay quiet. I see. So be it. It's all over then. The scholar sighs deeply, clearly disappointed. The cook slings his basket over his back and gets up and leaves. He opens the door and says, Kid, successor of Taiwu has or was entrusted. No need to push it too far. With the tea gone cold and the room cleared out, the cook glances back and calls out casually, All right, successor of Taiwu. Once you leave Zhengyang, you should swing by Quinzhou. The Yangtze Merchants Guild shopkeeper is headed there too. You should arrive in about a month. The young girl has another bronze part on her. If you're looking to complete Tong Shen, you'll want to find her. But be careful. She might be the youngest shopkeeper among the 7 major guilds, but she's sharp as a tack. I can't outmatch her and suggest you don't try either. Oh, thanks for the tip. Hawk steps out the door and stuffs the 2 bronze parts back into the travel bag. Just then, a few dozen doves fly off the sky, most likely messengers again spreading the word. Tong Shen doesn't pay him any mind. He just stares at the tourist boat in the distance, says, Boat, big. So many people. Never seen. Tong Shen, you've never seen a boat like that before? Tong Shen thinks for a moment before answering. Tong Shen before boat. Only 2 people. Full already. Right, back in Master Owl's time, there was no tourist boats like this. Seeing Hawk remain silent, Tong Shen speaks up with feeling. Jing Ling, Jing Yang, boats, carts, tall buildings. All kinds of new things. Ships, vehicles, and tourist boats, those are what Gongshin's caravan is known for. Only 2 parts left. Let's move out. So 1 arm and the torso, I guess. How long we got? We'll have to be careful. To collect the bronze components, wait for some time before heading to Qingzhou. All right. So we're headed there next. And technically, I could go here. I could go here. Fight this. I still want to make sure we get as much stats as we can, because we're going to have to head back soon to deal with that sword stuff. We're actually putting up more of a fight than the rest. Yeah, we're getting kind of... Pause that. I don't think I need that. You don't weigh anything, so I'll hold on to you. That took off a lot of weight, though. Here. That'll get me maxed out. All right. First things first, night with a wife is this. No, I'm good. Don't need grooming. All right. That night, under a sparse moon and quiet sky, Monk lights up a small fire at the edge of a cliff. Lays out his weapons, the Fuyu hilt, Tongshin's limbs, and starts carefully wiping each one clean. Fire crackles, and reflections of the bronze and flame flicker across Tongshin's dull eyes. Suddenly, Tongshin mutters, "Clang, clang, clang." In the middle of the night, why are you clanging? Tongshin artisan, hammer in hand, building mechanisms. Tongshin replies slowly, like he's imagining what it'll be like once he's whole again. Clang, clang, clang. Forge a sword in a furnace. Clang, clang, clang. Make fine mechanisms. Suddenly stops talking after a while. He goes on. Tongshin thought artisan just artisan. But now, Pavilion of Wonders, Vault of Volumes. These artisans, not the same. Artisan, so many kinds. Complicated. You're Master Owl's successor. Of course, you're not like the others. Tongshin hears this and thinks a bit, then asks, successor, not the same? Successor of Taiwu, Master Owl's successor, not the same as others. Successor of Taiwu, what is that? Fighting Jiangsu demons and protecting the realm, saving the world. After a long pause, Tongshin suddenly asks, Taiwu Hawk, guest advisor of demon slaying? I'm lost for words. Successor of Taiwu does carry the duty of fighting demons, but being called a guest advisor makes it feel like he's tied to someone else's will, like his freedom's gone. Still, that demon fighting duty isn't something Hawk can just walk away from. Hard to explain what being successor of Taiwu really means. All right, let's try this one, because this is actually some story. So this one. Traveling across each sect, passing down martial arts, riding alone through 15 states. Tongshin then asks, Taiwu Hawk, guest advisor of inheritance. Taiwu does carry the duty of passing down martial arts, but being called a guest advisor makes it feel like he's tied to someone else's will. All right, so same on that one too. It's hard to explain what successor of Taiwu really means. Seeing that Hawk hasn't answered fully, Tongshin then asks, successor of Taiwu, Master of Owl's successor, the same. Taiwu Hawk, you need Pavilion of Wonders materials, their help. Taiwu Hawk, you need Vault of Volumes, books, their help. Golden J, let's go with the benevolent. He might like the principal though. Well, he's not really gonna have stuff. Well, let's just see what happens. We haven't had this kind of conversation, so let's find out if he likes being paired up properly. The guest and the shopkeeper each do their part. Business is business, not help. Okay, it didn't make a difference. Tongshin, hearing this, asks again. Successor of Taiwu, Pavilion of Wonders, guest advisor. Successor of Taiwu, Vault of Volumes, guest advisor. In the midst of it all, Hawk feels like Tongshin is mixing things up, but dealing with Jiangshu's threat requires more than just a bit of help. And as the saying goes, if you ask someone for help, you must be under their control. Roles of host and guest become unclear in this situation. Hawk can't decide which is which. Tongshin, you've really got me confused now. Damn it, I finally found you. Master is the successor of Taiwu, and he's got a bronze head. That moment, footsteps appear from the distance, and a group of strong men carrying torches and sharp knives hurry up to Hawk. Few servants carrying a sedan chair rush forward. Person steps out of the chair, dressed in fine clothing, walks slowly and respectfully, saying, successor of Taiwu. Tongshin, sorry to disturb you in the night. I hope you'll understand. Who are you, a thief? The merchant's face darkens, but he clenches his fist, forcing a flattering smile. You can call me a thief when I'm just a businessman from the city. I've traveled day and night to meet you and discuss something. Plan to establish a new guild in the city with Tongshin as the guest advisor. Once that's done, I promise you won't be left out. Carrying sharp knives to invite people over. This doesn't seem like the shopkeeper's style. It's more like a bandit. Seeing that the newcomers clearly mean trouble, Hawk picks up the Tong Shin and straps him behind his waist. He scans the area. Immediately, the servants all step back 3 paces, swallowing hard, clutching their weapons with sweaty palms. The merchant's face shifts. His fake smile vanishes. He snaps. Hand over Tong Shin. The 7 guilds hoard the old materials and make a killing. Now, you're going to give the successor of Master Owl to them too? How's anyone else supposed to make a living? I don't care if I die today. I will bring Tong Shin back as our guest advisor. I want to be the shopkeeper. You want to be the shopkeeper? Well, let's see what you got. Besides my pole upside your head. Oh, you got reasonable stats compared to everybody else. Too bad you didn't get that up before that went off. I love going in so fast. I think he's done a little bit of damage to our lower torso. No, I got a foot that time. Might need to, after this, because we did do that, those 2 bandits, I have not checked medical. It didn't look like they touched me, but they could have. You're really glad that was up. That probably would have busted that chest. Ooh. Actually got a good connection in. Oh, weak spot. Okay. Or I think that's actually called what, an opening. I still think if we get this done, he's going to know how to craft those pieces we have. I'm definitely going to have to fix myself up after this one. Upper chest is going. Might affect the breathing just a bit. I doubt it. So close. Ooh, it might be so close. Plum wood armor. All right, we'll have to check that. Jewel crafting, some noodle soup, and a pair. Ooh, wow. All right. Useless, all of you. Tong Shin, come with me. Seeing that's not going his way, the merchant suddenly charges. Hawk steps forward and trips him, face planting straight into the dirt. He tries to lunge again, but Hawk gives Tong Shin a little lift, and the man crashes headlong into his own servants. At last, completely out of steam and stumbling with rage, he trips over his own feet, lets out a miserable scream, and tumbles to the ground. Setting the stance to dodge the merchant, man gets too worked up, stumbles, and rolls all the way to the edge of a cliff. Barely manages to stand up before tripping again. This time, a servant gets tangled in his feet. He flips over the edge, crashes through dozens of branches, screams loudly, and ends up hanging from a tree. My leg's broke. It's so dark I can't see. I'm blind. Help me, somebody. I don't want to be a shopkeeper anymore. Hearing the cries from below, the servants all shake their heads and say their footwork arts aren't good enough to climb down. They beg Hawk to go instead. Tong Shin stares out the dark and says, "Successor of Taiwu, this man loud at night, unpleasant. Help him." A broken leg and blindness, that's pretty rough. Doesn't seem like he deserves that. Then a wave of shushing spreads among the servants. After the noise dies down, they whisper and still say they can't abandon their master. They turn to Hawk, bow deeply, and start reciting praise like they memorized it. All right. Wait here, I'll go get him. Once down at the bottom of the cliff, the merchant's screaming stops. The forest is dark and endless. Hawk figures it'll take some time to find him. Suddenly, a crisp and familiar bell chimes from the woodlands. With the ringing, an old woman's raspy voice echoes. Organs, muscles, internal wounds, external injuries, miracle pills to cure it all. Wait a minute, that's the bell from the Revival Apothecary. Bell sounds lead to a familiar sight. Revival Apothecary keepers crouched down, wrapping up a bandage with a fine gauze cloth. Lying on the ground in torn clothes and covered in dirt, it's the merchant. Successor of Taiwu. I was resting in a nearby village when I heard someone shouting in the middle of the night. Guess he doesn't want to be a shopkeeper anymore, so I came to check it out. But when I asked what the fuss was all about, he wouldn't say. You know what really happened? It's just like all the others trying to recruit Tong Shin as a guest advisor. The mention of Tong Shin, the shopkeeper suddenly seems to remember something. She hurries off, then returns carrying a bronze right arm. Tong Shin mistook you for a regular mechanism before and I bought one of your arms. But now that you've awakened, I don't know a thing about mechanism arts. Here, take your arm back. Well, thank you, shopkeeper, but dare I ask how much? No need. What kind of doctor buys a patient's hand and then carries it to return it? That's nonsense. Go find a proper artisan to fix you up. Hawk is stunned that the bronze part is free. Even Tong Shin looks confused and asks, "Is this invitation for Tong Shin to be guest advisor?" The shopkeeper quickly waves her hand and laughs. No. Revival Apothecary has no need for hammers and drills. We don't need a dedicated artisan. If I invite you to join you to make tools for me, is that the same as chaining you up all over again? I heard you've a direct disciple of Master Owl. One day, you'll only be able to help the world in your own way. That makes sense. Tong Shin, not guest advisor. Tong Shin, an artisan? Tong Shin's eyes, well, they light up a little, but it hesitates and stays silent all night. Meanwhile, the Revival Apothecary keeper and the merchant wave their goodbyes and walk off slowly. Now, all that's left is the bronze torso. Time to head to Quinzhou and look after the Yangtze Merchant League. Nice. Okay. All right, so we got piggies. We got another one of those. Oh, we got fertile soil. So there's that. We don't need the herbs. Was it you? Was it you? Keep getting you up. I've noticed getting 1 to 10 pretty quick helps out really well. I thought I had something else. Fertile land. Oh, there we are. You. What do you? Food, wood, all that stuff. Good. How are we looking in here? Work key equal to 100%. Same to me. All right. I think we can get up here. Here, you look like a main city. All right, Hawk finally arrives in Qingzhou, only to find 2 massive 8-barrier sedan chairs parked right in front of the city gate. Dozen servants in crisp uniforms stand at attention, while a curious crowd of onlookers, old and young, whisper about which VIPs are inside. But when Hawk approaches, the servants lift the sedan chairs and carry them straight over, stopping right in front of Hawk. Lead steward bows and announces, "On behalf of the Yangtze Merchant League, we humbly invite the successor of Taiwu and Tong Xin to a banquet." That's a grand welcome. Before Hawk can finish speaking, the steward, mistaking his tone for displeasure, bows hastily and says, with a hint of flustered apology, "Oh, forgive us, successor of Taiwu. We arrived in Qingzhou only a few days past. In our rush to prepare the proper courtesies, some details may have been lacking. We beg your understanding. Long ago, Hawk only looked at the storefront of the guild. Now, the Yangtze Merchants League actually brings out 2 grand sedan chairs, making the others look pale in comparison." The steward raises a hand to signal, and the attendants tilt the sedan forward, inviting Hawk to enter. Then someone offers an embroidered cushion and gestures for Hawk to place Tong Xin on it, the steward says. Now the shopkeeper has already spoken with the merchants from all over and understands your purpose. This banquet is to invite you both to discuss the details. Please, get in. This does save a little trouble, but can cause a lot more. I'd rather walk and not accept anything. Everyone is polite and formal. Hawk can't refuse, so he steps inside the sedan, and then Hawk takes Tong Xin from the waist, and the guild's attendants carefully place it inside, arranging it just right. Move. At the loud shout, Hawk hears voices outside growing louder, moving from distant whispers to noisy chatter. Talk is mostly about rumors of old noble families making a comeback, new guilds forming, and the phrase, "the swordsmith Villa celestial weapon is yet to appear." Direct disciple of Master Owl returned with his craft. Sounds like boasting and nothing more. As the noise fades, Hawk alights from the stand and seeing a wing room with a large round yellow hairwood table covered with countless dishes and bowls, all of delicacies. At least they're not going to show and tempt us with this one. At the door stands an attendant holding a tray of water, bowing respectively. Please, successor of Taiwu, use the basin to wash your hands. Much formality, and it's not really necessary. Then the shopkeeper steps out from behind a screen and approaches Hawk with a gentle bow, faint smile on her face, her thoughts unreadable. Successor of Taiwu, I hope you're not tired of feasts. See, this looks a bit better. I don't know about this. I was thinking that might be shrimp. I don't know. That's too much formality for me. It feels complicated and pointless. That's not the style of the martial world. The shopkeeper laughs softly, covering her face. You get used to it, and it doesn't feel so tedious. I've heard from the traveling merchants about your arrival. Indeed, we have a bronze item. I'm willing to give it to you. No other conditions. The shopkeeper lifts a porcelain cup, sips her tea, and says, well, as the Yangtze's Merchant League keeper, I have to make a profit for the guild. Pavilion of Wonders and Vault of Volumes are the same. Inviting you as a guest advisor to help them establish themselves and gain fame. No matter how sweet the words, the real goal is to connect with Master Owl's direct disciple. So, your real aim is to get close to Master Owl's disciple too. Yangtze Merchant League keeper nods quietly and looks at Tong Shen, who stands still in the embroidered cushion. The bronze eyes are rusty, dull, and lifeless among the shining gold cups and jade objects. Hearing the shopkeeper's word, Tong Shen is silent for a long moment, then asks, what does Estbish mean and fem? Shopkeeper is more genuine than most, but Tong Shen knows little of the worldly ways. Shopkeeper stays calm and says, in this world, everyone has their place. To make a name for yourself is to find where you belong, do what you're meant to do, and earn the world's recognition. Then things go well. As the Yangtze's Merchant League's shopkeeper, I have my duties. You, as Master Owl's disciple, are expected to do something meaningful. And the successor of Taiwu has his own mission to fulfill. Tong Shen stays silent, lost in thought. And the shopkeeper sighs and turns her gaze to Hawk. This is a merchant. She's just going to do pretty words. In your opinion, what should someone like Master Owl's disciple aim to achieve? She smiles and says, I've already made arrangement. Tong Shen, as Master Owl's chosen disciple, will one day lead the Swordsmith Villa. When that time comes, he will command all the artisans and guide the sect in a new golden age. But right now, the Swordsmith Villa is tied up in the swordless trial. Materials alone cost a fortune. They've already racked up several debts with us. Even if the celestial weapons are completed, these debts could seriously affect the sect's future and our relationship. Tong Shen, as the Yangtze Merchant League keeper, I don't mean to make things hard for you, but I have to give the guild a proper explanation. Few words won't magically erase the debt, so I've picked out a few key matters. If you and the Swordsmith Villa can help us, then we'll have a reason to wipe the debts clean, one by one. So you want Tong Shen to be your guest advisor. Shopkeeper doesn't deny it, replies plainly, and painfully a bit, having to give in. Wing Zhao was once part of the old kingdom of Yang Zhong. We plan to open a branch there, but we need to stay on good terms with the Vajra sect. Problem is, every time we send tribute to the Dharma King, it gets intercepted somewhere in Qingzhou. Nothing ever makes it through. I was hoping you two can find out who's behind the ambushes and get an explanation out of them, so I can show the Buddha that we're serious. Once it's done, I'll return the bronze component. Your words are vague, but the meaning, that's clear enough. After all that, Hawk falls quiet. He suddenly notices how similar this Yangshi Merchant League shopkeeper sounds to the other two. The second shopkeeper said that wealthy merchant by the cliff in the inn, they all just see Master Owl's disciple as a way to make money. While pondering that thought, Tongshin tilts his head and blurts out, Tongshin, help? Artisan? Guest advisor? Shopkeeper lets out a helpless laugh and sighs. This world, runs on people. Where there are people, there's fame and gain. And where there's fame, there's always the roles of host and guest. But the truth is, we're all part of the same game. Hosts follow guests. Guests move with the hosts. Only then can things get done. So, really, what's the difference between the two? If anything, I'm the host of the Yangshi Merchant League, but also just a guest of it. You, as the successor of Taiwu, are the host of this world, but also its guest. Same goes for me. Same goes for Taiwu. How could you escape that? That's actually kind of deep. Once you step into this world, we're all guests here. With that, the shopkeeper raises her cup and toasts Tongshin. Then, just like that, her expression shifts. She starts chatting about funny stories from the guild, asking about Hawk's travels. Laughter fills the air like the serious conversation never happened. Search the... Alright, you're not here. Could be in any of them. Oh, have you got some ash? Alright, so that's not you. Wouldn't be you. All right, so it's got to be you. Oh. Ooh. Unbound by the worldly concerns, free as the drifting clouds, Hawk sees only freedom. Unshackled by the mundane, wandering through mountains and valleys, crossing rapids and exploring hidden paths. Hawk has honored his body and spirit, moving as if they were weightless, almost like a celestial being. Hawk now moves with effortless grace, increasing agility and restoring at the start of each month. About those bandits. Let's go get them. Ooh, doggies. Oh, no, 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 no. Da, 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 da. Ooh. Let's see, after chasing and cutting off the routes. Okay, so yep, same one again. Drunk disciple, clearly annoyed, scoffs at me. 7 guilds are all arrogant and useless. They're full of sin. Whether they're sincere or respectful, why should the Buddha care? And you're the successor of Taiwu. The other one's Master Owl's disciple. What, you two are here to beg us to leave the Yangtze Merchant League alone? We're not begging, we're asking for explanations. Hawk stands his ground, and their irritation turns to fury. They raise their weapons and yell, "You want an explanation? Who says I have to give you one? Take a good look. This is Qing Zhao. You've got no say here. Get lost now. Once we finish this crate off, we're here to rob the next one. Keep getting in our way, and I'll send you to meet the Buddha." Well, then I guess I'll have to be rude. And I think I've been dueling with a Buddha, I think. Actually, it's been a while since that statue asked us. I guess it didn't like the fact that I've been fighting. I wonder how I would do against him now. This guy's got really good stats. Dang, I didn't get that iron skin up in time. I assume this might be the last fight of this one. I guess I could see this being a rough fight. Oh, jeez. Yeah, you need to tag out quick before you get hit by that again. We kind of need to get a heal. Not like that, though. Oh, okay, yeah, that was pretty good. I fixed that. We took a big hit, but that actually, yay for being a medic. Ooh, that was close. I think if we can get another, well, he healed some. Another good pole attack. Jeez. And with our lower torso, I think good. You're out of here. Sheesh. Blah, 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 blah. Give it back to him just as promised. All right. Once the goods are dealt with, Hawk glares over at the wounded Vajra sect disciple. They clutch their injuries, kneeling on the ground, teeth clenched. So the Yangtze Merchant League brings in the successor of Taiwu to start trouble. Such wicked hearts, so disrespectful. Even the Buddha will appear in wrath. Now on, the Yangtze Merchant League will never set foot in Qing Zhao. You're just sore losers running their mouths. All right then. The Yangtze Merchant League keeper strolls over with a smile, says, "How could offering wine and meat to the Buddha be considered wicked?" Shopkeeper slowly takes out the offering from the chest, one by one, placing them in front of the lead disciple, she says. Here, the enforcer is fond of royal wine. Always drinks 2 full jars, so I prepared 2 jars of Jinyan Chun for him. Strong man, I heard, loves fine jade, warm and auspicious, so I brought a piece of premium long-blued black jade. But I confess, if the offerings were accepted, why are you still putting on such angry faces? Wait, these offerings are actually meant for the robbers? Disciples glance at each other in surprise. They've never met the shopkeeper before, yet she knows their likes and habits inside and out. She even pretends not to know and respectfully calls them Buddha. Their anger fades a little. They start looking unsure. Please don't joke. The Buddha is perfect in virtue and mercy. We're just humble disciples seeking enlightenment under the guidance. You, kind lady, are saying you prepared all this for us? She smiles and replies, I always believe that the Buddha tests sincerity by appearing in many forms. I treat one form with respect, but turn away from another, then I'm only judging the appearances and not truly sincere. So I try to treat all faces equally, whether inside or outside the sect. Our Yangji Merchant League makes no distinction. What a sharp, thoughtful way to speak. This shopkeeper really knows how to handle people. Disciples nod repeatedly, smiling and laughing. They start to believe the Yangshi Merchant League is blessed by the Buddha. The shopkeeper then turns to Taiwu and bows. Thanks to both of you, I'm able to find these Buddhist monks. With this, the toughest part of setting up our Quinzhou branch is done. For the rest, I'll need to speak with you again back in the city. Okay. No, I'm not going anywhere before I patch myself up. Patch you up, because you got your clock clean. There we go here. You're 105 and 30, so same power. 576 655. But this is less. Yeah, I know. I went to check. Oh, never mind. Here. This. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, did this... Look at the wrong thing. Okay, so that was just a good passive. All right. Okay, fully assemble. All right, so it looks like no fighting. Firecrackers erupt, drums and gongs echo through the streets. Hawk stands silently at the entrance of the Yangshi Merchant League's branch office. Returning to Qingzhou from the Vajra sect, the keeper of the Yangshi Merchant Leagues moved quickly, sending gifts to every household, one after another. With each gift, the local nobles become more respectful. By the end, no one dares to speak against them. Just like that, the new branch opened without any issue. Merchant League really doesn't mess around. Now, the Yangshi Merchant League keeper stands beside Hawk, all smiles. She's a young girl, probably around 16, with a bright, beautiful smile. Not the kind you'd expect in a setting like this, she says. Thanks to both of you, our Qingzhou branch opens today. As a token of appreciation, please accept this bust of Tong Shin. I accept. Hawk takes the bronze bust, thinking that after such a long journey, this kind of dramatic end feels oddly right. Next up, let's figure out how to put Tong Shin back together, and that's that. As Hawk wonders how Tong Shin ended up like this, Here's the shopkeeper say, with this branch open, our north-south trade routes clear at last. You've done us a huge favor. I've got some local specialties here as a gift for the successor of Taiwu. It'd be impertinent to decline. Foodstuff, wood. All right, so basic 3,000 of all the basic ingredients. It's still early. How about I give you a quick tour of the branch? I just want to get to work. Moon Chaser, Cloud. We'll just go the. So walk shopkeeper explains the layout. Oh. As they walk the grounds, take in the sight, the shopkeeper seems to realize that Hawk, after wandering across the land, has grown used to a free and easy life. He looks put together on the outside, but keeps people at arm's length, so he quietly picks up the pace. At the end of the hall, there's a temporary smithy. I've invited an honored guest. I figure you'd be interested to meet her. Maybe. Oh, you. The door to the smithy opens inside. Hawk sees a gray-haired woman peering into the furnace, studying its structure. Well, well, successor of Taiwu. Tong Shin, long time no see. This Yangtze Merchant League smithy is quite impressive, almost up to the standards of the champion's armaments. And lucky me, I brought all my tools. I was just thinking I might help attach Tong Shin's arm and legs. Why is someone from the champion armaments here? All the guilds chipped in. Our champion armaments can't just sit on the sidelines. Plus, the Grand Sword trial is a mess right now. Look, we've got a true successor of Master Owl here. No way we're sitting this one out. As she speaks, the champion's armaments keep F's the hammer into the hand, then reaches out with the other, asking for Tong Shin. Okay. Hawk looks at Tong Shin and feels a kind of warmth. Might not say much, but he's honest and pure. Now that he finally has a body, maybe he won't be too long before he finds a real home. Tong Shin, now with all of his limbs assembled, is clearly thrilled. He starts speaking non-stop. Tong Shin waited so long. Successor of Taiwu, thank you. Tong Shin, clang clang. So many mechanisms must repay. You wait for Tong Shin. Let's ask him. Now that you're whole, what do you plan to do? Tong Shin hears the shouting and falls silent. Then, sounds a little lost, he says. Tong Shin doesn't know. The guilds, being a guest advisor, well, sounds nice. Artisans are nice. Successor of Taiwu is nice. But which one is best? Tong Shin doesn't know. I don't know which one's best either. All right. Champion Armist Keeper, I'll leave him in your care now. Thinking this through, Hawk slowly hands Tong Shin over, but suddenly a string of loud voices echoes in the main hall. Tong Shin Caravan Keeper is here. Pavilion of Wonders Keeper is also here, and so is the Vault. All 5 shopkeepers in one place. Oh, this is turning into a gathering. I was going to say a mess. Then the shopkeepers pour through the hall, all headed straight for the smithy. One in front pretends to be energetic, laughing loudly while gasping for air and clutching his stomach, running like he's afraid to miss out on something important. None other than Gongshu's Caravan Keeper. Oh, great blessings. Great blessings. Right behind him are gift bearers in all manner of outfits, plus the Pavilion of Wonders, Vault of Volumes, and their keepers bringing up the rear. I want to keep an eye on everybody. I know these will just be half-hearted, so we'll just... Finally, the Gongshu Caravan Keeper wipes sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief, bent over and panting heavily. He gasps out congratulations. Oof, someone, hurry and bring all the gifts. Gongshu caravan keeper waves his hand over and tries to catch his breath, but his words sound half-hearted and arrogant. Yangshi Merchant League keeper's face darkens as she says, Gongshu caravan keeper, that's kind of you, but you didn't say whose gift it's for. How would I dare accept it? Is it meant for me, Yangshi Merchant League, or is it for Tong Shen? It's like the Yangshi Merchant League and Gongshu's caravan aren't exactly on friendly terms. The Gongshu caravan keeper, he flashes a brief look of annoyance, but he quickly composes himself, smiles, and shouts a sidelong glance at Hawk. His tone is suddenly nonchalant. Of course it's a gift for the Yangshi Merchant League. Tong Shen is our honored guest. If he requests anything from us, it's his. Successor of Taiwu. I'm not wrong, am I? I mean, a deal's a deal, but I'd like to know both. Huh. Hmm. But I did make a promise, and I can't, even in real life, I would never break a promise. But I mean, when we made the promise, though, it was just a mechanism. We didn't know it was something that was capable of sentient thought and processing. Yeah, I think it should be up for discussion. As soon as Hawk speaks, a mocking laugh rings out from somewhere nearby. And he failed to hide their grins, a few of them chuckle. The Gongshu caravan keeper's smile vanishes in an instant. He clenches his fists and blurts out, What do you mean, up for discussion? The head of Tong Shen, I paid a fortune for it from the Swordsmith Villa. Of course he belongs to us. What's there to discuss? As soon as he says that, the other shopkeepers' smile vanish. They crowd around him, all demanding answers. Commotion scares the servants standing at the door. No one dares to look. No one dares to move. They just stand there holding drums and horns, awkwardly frozen. Inside, they secretly curse the fireworks outside for still crackling. They're just adding to the chaos. I'm just going to wait silently. Once they finish condemning him, the firecrackers outside have also burned out. The Gongshu caravan keeper is clearly worn out. He stumbles back a few steps and collapses to the ground and mutters, Fine, fine. You're all a bunch of ingrates, acting like you're so generous just because the bronze parts were worthless on their own. Now that they've combined into something special, everyone wants a piece of the glory. Tong Shen, you decide. Who are you going with? Come with me. My guild's chock full of rare treasures, and they're all yours for the taking. Come with me. I swear I'll write your story for the world to see. Well, the unique arts of Master Owl will live again through you. And why not everyone make an offer? Highest bidder wins. All the shopkeepers chime in, each trying to claim Tong Shin for themselves. Tong Shin doesn't know. Tong Shin's completely confused now, no idea what to do. Gongshu's caravan keeper clutches his chest in frustration, pacing in circles, completely out of ideas. Ningxi Merchant League keeper offers a small smile and immediately tells the servants in the main hall to come over and calm things down. Turns to the others. Please, everyone, no need to make haste. Tong Shin will find his proper place. We have guest rooms along both sides of the hall. Why not take a break there while we wait? Looks like things are about to heat up again. Might as well fill the shopkeepers out first. Ooh. Nope. Just as all the shopkeepers grow restless and impatient, another guest makes a surprise appearance in Qingzhou. A servant rushes in to report. The monolith smith of the swordsmith villa has arrived. Oh, great. Ah, him. An elderly artisan from the swordsmith villa walks in, leaning on a cane, helped along by a young disciple. His winded and caked in dust, clearly having traveled nonstop through wind and rain, but his eyes are locked on the shopkeepers as he says, Tong Shin, you're not some guild's great advisor. You're an artisan. You belong in the Mount Zhanlu. That clearly crosses the line. The Gongshu caravan keeper storms out of the wing room. The other shopkeepers go stiff, all getting ready to jump in. Within moments, the wide wooden corridor outside is packed full of people. Did he hear the news and rush here straight from the mountain? Seeing two of the shopkeepers blow up and get nothing for it, the rest fall silent. Old artisan turns his head away, his anger fading. He leans on his cane and walks forward slowly. You all once mocked my sect's young disciples for not knowing our ancestors' relics. You bought Tong Shin because we were blind to its value. To make amends, I sold the last of my private property and raised 100,000 silver, 10 times what you paid for today. With that, a swordsmith villa disciple steps forward, placing a bag of silver on a side table in the hall. So Tong Shin was just sold off in pieces before for just 10,000 silver. Old artisan finishes speaking and bows to Tong Shin. Tong Shin, the swordsmith villa's disciples didn't recognize a relic from our founder. That's a disgrace. Truly foolish. We're so sorry. We even sold you off unknowingly. I'm not asking for your forgiveness, but I don't want us to make another mistake. I don't want you to be lost to fame and fortune. Please accept my bow. Come back to the swordsmith villa with me. His voice gets lower and lower. In the end, he actually drops to his knees and places his head on the ground several times. He was so proud before, now he's kneeling. Everyone here knows how talented Tong Shin is. If he's given to the world, everyone profits. That's why they're all fighting over him, each trying to justify it with their own kind of logic. But no matter how meticulous their reasoning, it doesn't hold a candle to 4 simple words. Master Owl's successor. That's 3. Okay. So when someone's from the swordsmith villa shows up, none of them can really argue back. The old crook, the swordsmith villa can't even protect themselves right now. Still got the nerve to ask for Tong Shin for nothing in exchange? Tong Shin, we Gongshu caravan shelter artisans across the land. Come with me, and I'll make sure you live in wealth and comfort. The Gongshu caravan keeper is clearly out of moves and just rambling now. Oh, he still hasn't given up, huh? All artisans under heaven, please. You're just turning artisans into ordinary folk with no spark. Tong Shin and the lost craft from Master Owl are something only my Pavilion of Wonders can truly appreciate. As soon as the Gongshu Caravan's keeper speaks, the Pavilion of Wonders keeper quickly chimes in loud and clear. Even the Vault of Volumes keeper jumps in, not to be outdone. I'll make sure Tong Shin's name, like Master Owl's, goes down in history. All this for a single disciple of Master Owl. One by one, the shopkeepers start talking again. Just like that, the fight over Tong Shin starts up again. Vault of Volumes keeper begins quoting all manner of ancient texts, weighing the pros and cons of each guild. The Pavilion of Wonders, the keeper suddenly takes a jab at Gongshu's caravan keeper, mocking him for being slow and clunky, just like a bronze tripod. Gongshu caravan keeper blows up, hurling curses like there's no tomorrow, dragging in every creature alive and their whole family tree. Jeez. Yangshi Merchant League keeper, though, just sits there calmly, sipping tea, unbothered by the noise. Only Hawk and Tong Shin glance at each other. Something stirs between them. Please, everyone, enough. And Hawk's clear shout, all the shopkeepers fall silent. After a moment, they hear Tong Shin recite in fragments. Under heaven, the supreme treasure grows precious with time. Tong Shin, what are you reciting? Tong Shin, forging method. Master Owl's not guessed. Tong Shin, not guessed. Owl's craft. Tong Shin today shares with all. As he speaks, Tong Shin continues chanting the remaining verses. He plans to share Owl's unique arts on the spot. Gongshu Caravan Keeper is stunned. His face twists in horror as he yells for his servants to write down every word, even parroting the lines himself to make sure nothing slips through. Well played, Tong Shin. This really is a way to stop the fighting. Pavilion of Wonders keeper hears this and quickly tells his assistant to start copying. Vault of Volumes keeper opens a book on the spot and mixes ink to start writing. Speed is so fast that it makes the Gongshu Caravan keeper green with envy. But just as Tong Shin is reciting and everyone's scribbling down notes, the champion's armament keeper, who's been in the smithy, frowns. The old artisans next to them frown too. They look at each other, then ask, Tong Shin, is this forging method you're chanting? When you say metal, do you mean pure metal or do you mean bronze? The method of the bronze casting is from a millennium ago. It's outdated and worthless now. These days, weapons are all made from metal. Who still uses bronze? 1,000 years ago. Tong Shin used to clang, 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 only work with bronze. At these words, Hawk hears several clacks as brushes drop to the ground. Everyone stands frozen, staring at Tong Shin, watching their own money tree collapse in an instant. Only the champion's armament keeper covers her mouth and nose, unable to hide her laughter. That's right, in Owl Yezi's day, we were still smithing in bronze. That ancient craft has to be worth a fortune indeed. Let me look at the big boy. Gongshu Caravan's keeper stands there, stunned and frozen, while the champion armament's keeper tries to hide a laugh. After a while, the Gongshu's Caravan keeper's eyes go wide. He tries to point at Tong Shin. You. Before he can finish, there's a deafening crash. Topples over like a huge bronze cauldron and lies still. The times can be unpredictable. The Pavilion of Wonders keeper nearby presses his hands to his face and rubs them wildly through the air till they look like a dead willow. Master Owl's successor never learned a thing. That's ridiculous. Swordsmith Villa's celestial weapon remains unmade. Master Owl's successor returns with a lost craft. Who even started that rumor? It was you, Gongshu Caravan, you old fox. You've doomed yourself and others. I'm not letting this go. Greed's messing with his head. Now he's blaming everyone else for the lies he told himself. Well, we smaller guilds can finally breathe easy, huh? Maybe the reason the successor of Taiwu refused to let Tong Shen serve as a guest advisor was that he knew exactly what was going on. Didn't want me to stress over nothing. Vault of Volumes Keeper lets out a relieved sigh and looks at Taiwu with genuine respect in his eyes. Oh, that's nice. All the shopkeeper's efforts come to nothing. After a brief scuffle, they peel off. 3 or 4 Gongshu caravan servants haul their shopkeeper into a carriage. The Vault of Volumes Keeper shakes his head and chuckles, bows and hurries away. Pavilion of Wonders Keeper, they flick his messy hair, quirks an eye, and slips off. The Yangtze Merchant League Keeper disappears entirely. She's been gone since Tong Shen began teaching Master Ao's unique arts. Seeing this, the Champion Armaments Keeper parts the Tong Shen statue on the table and grins. Tong Shen, there goes your big dreams and chance at fame. All those generous offers they made to Tong Shen, they'll be sure to get it all back one way or another. The old artisan cheeks flush. He smooths his beard and smiles. The successor of Taiwu says is right. Where Tong Shen goes still needs to be discussed. Taiwu, you found him. You're the closest to him. Tong Shen is an artisan. Even if all he knows is bronze smelting, please persuade him to return with me to the Swordsmith Villa. Tong Shen, will you come back to the Swordsmith Villa? Tong Shen will follow Taiwu. You go to the Swordsmith Villa as an artisan, you'll have to start from the bottom. Start from beginning. Tong Shen stares blankly down the now empty corridor that was just buzzing with people. He says, apprentice, no guest advisor. Champion's Armaments Keeper walks up, pats Tong Shen's smooth head and says, guest advisor, huh? Sounds like you're the guest and we're the host. But if you don't ask anything from the guild and don't bow down to them, then who's really in charge? That said, if you've got nowhere else to go, how about joining us? We'll have food and a place to stay and 500 silver a month. Not a bad deal, right? Well, yeah, he doesn't eat. Why does he need food? Hearing that, Tong Shen directly refuses to make the Champion Armaments Keeper sign disappointment. Champion Armaments laughs at Tong Shen. Said my skills are outdated. Tong Shen won't go. Now he's throwing a tantrum. Tong Shen don't know. Unique art and sword forging willing to teach Tong Shen. Shen softly asks the old artisan and looks at the old artisan. The old artisan strokes his beard and nods. Yes, yes, even if Tong Shen has no unique arts, he's still a disciple of Master Ao. I was careless before. My disciples didn't treat him well. We can't let that happen again. But right now, the Swordsmith Villa is in bad shape. I might not be able to take good care of him. Successor of Taiwu, I want to ask you something on behalf of the Swordsmith Villa. Please, help us if you can. Go on. The old artisan nods, gently pushing away the supporting disciple, and with trembling hands leans on his cane to bow deeply, solemnly. The grand sword trial is near. My seniors and juniors have opened workshops across the land to forge celestial weapons. I ask you to lead Master Ao's successor to each workshop. Learn from the masters and attend the trial. That way, beyond forging the celestial weapon, you'll contribute to our sect's legacy. Tong Sen, what do you think? Inside the smithy, the furnace flame burns quietly, reflecting Tong Shen's eyes like flickering lights. Man, it's been a lot of reading today. Before big bells, great cauldrons, boats, 2 people, fully loaded. Now, rare treasures, fine craftsmanship, boats. People come and go. Tong Shen will work hard. Well, since that's the case, we'll do as you wish. The old artisan bursts into laughter, his wrinkling face increasing with each chuckle. Then there's a clear clang, 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 and the Champion Armaments Keeper taps their hammer on the anvil and calls out, wonderful. After all this time, it's finally time to piece Tong Shen back together. Since you're here, why not lend a hand? Successor of Taiwu, please, wait a moment. Moment. Jeez, there's no cow. The old artisan enters the smithy, lifts another iron hammer, and straightens his bent back just a little. Champion's armor's keeper takes Tongshin's remains, parts from Hawk, and brings them inside. They bring out a diagram and dissect each mechanism in Tongshin's parts, sketching his structure. Her voice is clear and articulate. The old man is low and occasionally guiding. Soon, the sound of hammering rings out from inside. Somehow, during all this chaos, the young girl from the Yangtze Merchant League walks over again, quietly sits beside Taiwu, listens to the steady clanging sounding from the smith. Master Ao's successor has no craft legacy. Looks like everyone got played by Tongshin this time. Shopkeeper says it's like the outcome doesn't matter at all. Yangtze Merchant League keeper chuckled. Thanks to you two, our Quinzhou branch opened without issue. Now, how could I worry over gains or losses? Besides, Master Ao's successor, who didn't even inherit the legacy, might just outshine those of us who already have it. Shopkeeper implies that those with us with inheritance are trapped by it. The Merchant League keeper hears them and forces a smile. Tongshin can offend all 7 guilds and still sleep soundly, but not everyone has that luxury. Running a guild, managing connections, passing down martial arts, fighting monsters, someone's got to handle all that. Being a successor doesn't mean inheriting skill. It means taking on fame, fortune, duty, and purpose. Golden shackle. I can't break free of it, but you still might. Calling Tongshin's innocent simplicity and other polished flattery, Hawk can't help but feel a twinge of envy for him. Right now, the shopkeeper leans against the gate, eyes closed, resting in silence. Outside, the firecrackers and drums have fallen silent. The setting sun last rays filter through the potted jade tree, casting thin black shadows that cling to her limbs like a wooden dummy from heaven's mechanism. Oh, look at you. The smithy doors swing open. Hawk sees a tall figure bathed in the furnace glow. He's draped in a fireproof cloth, fully assembled, ready to go. Every bit the artisan. And thanks for waiting, successor of Taiwu. Tongshin's all set. Let's get moving. That's a surprise. Tongshin speaks so much more fluently now. Guys, we'll take our leave. Shopkeeper opens her eyes at the news, then gets up, guides the 2 guests all the way to the outer gates. She gives a practice Han-style bow. Safe travels, both of you. Successor of Taiwu. We'll meet again. Yangtze Merchant League's treasure pavilion is now open in Qingzhou. Nice. That was a cool and very long story. All right. Thanks for your help. Tongshin is now fully assembled and can finally walk the path of an artist again. Most of the things from the past happened over a millennia ago. Head to the workshop in various regions. How long have we got? What is that? Oh. The workshops in at the start of the Swordsmith Villa's Artisan's Guide, Tongshin on a journey back to the Swordsmith Villa. Along the way, visit the workshops. Taiyuan Main City? All right, we'll do it this way. One more time. It'd surely be easier to do it like this, right? Taiwu up here. That's he is coming with me, right? Ooh. Been some incident of note nearby. Trigger conditions. A reincarnation platform has been built. Advance the month in areas of western regions. Okay. That day, Hawk ventured deep into the thick woods. As he moves through the thick undergrowth, the scent of blood drifted from ahead. When he followed the scent to its source, Hawk muttered he had arrived too late. Before him laid scattered cloth, not before he. Corpses strewn across the ground and scenes of carnage too gruesome to bear. Hawk took a deep breath and stepped forward for a closer look. The bodies wore red cassia robes and sandalwood prayer beads, monks from the western regions. Yet it was unclear who had attacked them, slaying them on the spot. Their travel bags and belongings had been looted. Such vicious methods. This was not a mere robbery. The attacks were utterly ruthless. Nothing was spared, not even the monks' shoes and socks. Clearly the intent was not material gain, but something else entirely. Also, inspecting the site, no clues remained. All Hawk could do now was just sigh. Let's gather and bury everything. They need a proper burial. After tending to the dead, Hawk packed and suddenly felt a chill wind rise among the bones and trembling. Yet no one was around. With no clear cause, he turned and left the place. I'm not going to leave them without a proper burial. While offering the horns, I'll offer assistance. Spectral search. Didn't realize my main weapon was busted. We'll fix that in a bit. How much better this build would be if I replaced that Sconda stuff, or if it would make it worse. What's that? Ah. Okay, so he comes with us. I'll go here. No, I think we're good. Little piggy. Sure. Yep. How are we doing in here? Not ready to unlock anything yet. We're about halfway on everything. Not ready. All right, so we got all that. As soon as Hawk arrives at Taiwan, he spots swordsmith's disciples with tired eyes rushing around in carts, thick smoke rising in the distance, stretching all the way to the sky. Tongshin raises a hand and points towards the smoke. The warp shops must be over there. Successor of Taiwu, there's no time to lose. Two of them leave the town and walk a few miles. Before the mountain, they find several sword furnaces, each imprinted with the emblem of the verdant smith with the swordsmith villa. Inside, two disciples are locked in a fist fight, shouting with bloodshot eyes. I'm the successor of Taiwu. I bring the direct disciple of Master Owl here to learn the craft. Please inform your master. When Hawk arrives, or when Hawk reports their arrival, the two disciples ignore they flip a table, knock their sectmates aside, and brawl their way from the workshop entrance all the way to Hawk. Rolling in the dirt covered in mud, only when the old artisan yells from inside the workshop, fed up with the noise, do they stop. That sorry excuse for a fight? What a disgrace. Get your act together. What are they fighting for? Two disciples on the ground unclench their fists, get up, still fuming. One of them shouts, "Some bastard knew we're short on materials. We barely scraped this together by cutting back on food and supplies. He still went out for the most expensive ones. Tried to talk him out of it, but he ignored me every time. You ask me, he's dead set on dragging us all down." The other disciple, seething with rage, spits and shouts back, "Bullcrap. If a weapon needs a certain material, you use it. What's the point of hoarding supplies if they're just sitting there? If everyone acted like you, sacred and scared and stingy, we'd never forge a darn thing. Honestly, I think you just want outsiders to laugh at us." Seeing the two of them spouting noble words about the sect while beating each other black and blue, the old artisan loses it. His face darkens and he yells, "Enough. You know shame? Honored guests are here to talk business. Clean up this mess now. Successor of Taiwu and this bronze successor from Master Owl. I failed as a master. Please, forgive my disciples' behavior." In that case, I hope you'd be willing to hand down your craft. With that, Hawk bows first. Tongshin follows, mimicking Hawk's gesture stiffly. The old artisan chuckles. "Don't worry. You're both part of the sect, no matter what form you come in. I'll teach you everything I know. How to work metal and my own techniques too. That said, the sect is running low on materials. You'll have to find your own materials and jade to practice with. That's fine. I might have a way to gather what we need." The old artisan nods slowly, then adds, "Damascus steel and jade shine iron each have their uses. Every unfinished weapon can help you figure out the design and style you're aiming for. The more blades you forge, the better they'll get. Blades, swords, pole arms. If you're aiming for a specific weapon style, you'd better be planning your materials carefully. If I care about the weapon style, I need to carefully plan what material I want." Nope. Thanks to you, successor of Taiwu. After hearing that, Tongshin bows stiffly to Hawk. The old artisan seems pleased and calls out to the other disciples, "You lot pay attention. If I hear one more argument like that, don't blame me for kicking you out." Disciples clearly aren't happy to hear that. They mutter things like, "That bronze thing has no soul. Master's lost his mind. The successor of Taiwu must be just as clueless." But they can't disobey orders. Frustrated, and they sigh deeply and let the 2 inside. All right. And ooh, I like that. That is going to get us for today. That was a long one. We still got more to go. Travel through the western regions for an investigation. Is that right? Nope. That. Okay, so now I've got to get his favorability up. And I still bet that after a while he's going to join us. But that will happen next time. So until next time, I hope you have a good day, good afternoon, whichever the case might be. But until then, I shall see you all on the flip side.